Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome, Memphis, Tennessee, and all abroad. Welcome to another episode of Bluff City Magazine. I'm Amanda Avery, the editor-in-chief of this dynamic print and digital publication. We highlight the movers and the shakers and the change makers right here in Memphis, Tennessee. And today, joining me is Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of the Shelby County government, also a candidate for our Shelby County Clerk's office, Dr. LaSonya Hall. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I read in your bio that you are a proud alumni of the HBCU Jackson State University.
Okay, now if you're going to start with that one,
I'm going to start with that one.
I am the distinguished alum of Jackson State University, the I love. It was founded in 1877. I'm the third generation. My daughter is fourth generation. I married my husband, who's a Jackson State alum. It runs deep in our hearts and soul. I was a former Miss Jackson State University, 1991-92, and I currently serve as the chair of the Development Foundation of Jackson State University. So we love Jackson State University.
I see that.
Yes,
it runs
we do.
deep in the roots.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, we could talk all day about that one. So you started on the right note.
Well, listen, I'm not sure if anybody really knows, but Jackson State, they are known for their awesome band.
The Sonic Boom
The
of the
Sonic
South.
Boom of the South.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Dr. Chris Davis is going to get me because we
Okay.
love Lamont On and the Magicians, but the Sonic Boom of the South is truly, and the Prancing J Sets, they are truly a magnificent feature that represents Jackson State's commitment to academic excellence, but also the musicality and just elegance. We are really a school prided on, we pride ourselves on ensuring that every student that comes to Jackson State University has a really good experience. And there are so many graduates here in Memphis, Shelby County. We are very active in our Memphis alumni chapter and the area, the regional area. But Jackson State truly is instrumental in my life and has truly been a part of my family's history for over 4 generations.
I love that.
Yes,
Jackson
yes.
State University is one of the largest HBCUs in the country.
Yes.
And the fourth largest university in Mississippi.
Absolutely.
In terms of enrollment.
Absolutely. We are just, we're proud of the most recent announcement of about 6,400 students that came in this year. And so I am super proud of my dear friend, my soror, and my sister, Dr. Denise Jones Gregory, for all that she is doing right now in the leadership capacity of president of the university. So we are working from the foundation, the administration, and our Alumni Association to truly promote what's good about the university.
In 2022, I actually interviewed J.J. Williamson, the comedian.
Absolutely.
And he talks so proud about Jackson State University.
Well, now, he's an Alcornite, but his wife, his former wife, was a Jacksonian.
But he was in the band.
And he was. He was. Now, we have a wonderful, and I would say this about the Mississippi institutions, Jackson State University, Alcorn, and Mississippi Valley. We are truly sister organizations, and we understand our history in the state of Mississippi and how those 3 institutions, as well as Tougaloo and Rust, have really been instrumental in graduating the very best in academic excellence in the African American community. Some of our medical researchers, our economists, our doctors, our teachers, our lawyers. Jackson State has representation in the Congress. Several mayors throughout the state of Mississippi, our very own Benny Thompson, as well as Dr. LaSonya Hall, and so many more are true pioneers and trailblazers. And if we're talking about athletics, we can't omit Walter Payton, Sweetness. We cannot overlook the contribution he has made to the National Football League.
Certainly.
Yes, yes.
So, Dr. Hall, I just met you, and your personality is so warm and so bright.
Yes.
Tell the people who you are.
Okay, sure.
Behind the name, behind the resume, and behind your credentials.
Okay, well, thank you. So a lot of people in the community call me Dr. Hall, but I got my roots in Jackson, Mississippi. I am a native of Jackson, Mississippi. My mother is she is a blue-collar worker. My dad was a police officer for Canton, Mississippi, a proud police officer and a proud Navyman. My parents actually met on the campus of Jackson State. I mean, all things go back to Jackson
Yes.
State. But my parents met there, and I will just tell you that I come from a family on both sides of hardworking workers that believed in taking care of their home. We are Christian. We believe in raising our families as a unit. Although my parents were divorced, they got divorced when I was about 4 or 5. We would still travel together as a family. And so people would look at us and my mom and dad, and I say this to this day, that my mom and dad truly loved each other.
Mhm.
And so we would travel together and people would just assume that we were, a one family, but my parents just made sure that they poured love and nurtured me and my sister as we grew up. But I am a native of Jackson, Mississippi, grew up singing, played the piano, had my own little gospel group back in the day when, extracurricular activities was the church. And so me and several little friends back in the day, we would travel all over Mississippi and Louisiana and Alabama, and we sing little gospel group.
Ma'am,
Our little
you are
gospel
a
group.
singer. Not a singer, but you are a singer.
Oh, thank
The
you.
song, I can't remember the last video I saw that you singing at the church. And I love that song. Just can't think of the name of it right now.
So either may the work I've done speak for
That's
me.
it.
Okay. Yeah. So that song really
Yes.
speaks to who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, my home bringing, we were just groomed first in the church. We were groomed to love our family, and then we were groomed to love our community and our country. And so, my parents poured, my grandparents, my paternal grandfather was a civil rights preacher in Canton, Mississippi. They taught us to work for our common man, that we were supposed to treat everyone with respect and love and dignity. And that has just manifested in my life for my entire life. And so when I sang that song, it really was a testament to who I am, that anything that I do in life, I'm doing it to help someone. I'm doing it
Yeah.
to elevate someone. And that's what my family was born on. My mother worked blue collar. She worked at the assembly line. She
And she
fought.
was a trailblazer
She
because she was the first
was.
lady, first female forklift
Forklift
driver
driver.
and shipping and receiving manager
Yes.
in Clinton,
Yes.
Mississippi.
Oh, my mama was a no-nonsense mother. My mama was
Mm.
a typical African American mother back in the day. She was a single
She
mom.
didn't play.
She did not play.
Mhm.
She did not spare the rod, and she did not take any mess off of my sister and I. But she was a trailblazer. She worked the assembly line to make sure that she could provide for us.
Mhm.
And they were grueling
And
hours.
that's what
She'd
a
work
black strong woman will
12-hour
do.
shifts,
Mhm.
7 days on, 2 days off, and go back 7 days more. But what she also was determined to continue to lift her family. And so she tested and studied to become a forklift driver and then became the first shipping and receiving manager in her little plant in Clinton, Mississippi. And at 18, when I went to
That's a big
college,
deal.
it is.
Mhm.
It really was for the time, the 80s. When I went to college and my sister was going into high school, she decided to go back to finish her college degree, and at 63 graduated from Jackson State University with her
Mhm.
bachelor's degree. So we're proud of her.
Yes, ma'am. You have several degrees under your belt
Yes, yes,
just because of the excellence that your parents had.
yes,
They pursued you to
absolutely.
get into education, and you got several degrees. And so
Yes,
now, with that education, with
yes,
that experience, you have 30 years under your belt
absolutely.
in the leadership experience
Yes, yes.
in Shelby County and
Mhm,
abroad. Tell us
yeah.
about that.
So I finished at Jackson State, went on to get my master's in public administration at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and then moved up to DC for a stint, worked at the National Institutes of Health, worked on the Hill, worked for the Congressional Black Caucus for a time. And then my husband and I got married, moved back home. And then I finished my PhD at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. Um, I have just been a sister, and I call myself a sister that believes in hard work, and I believe that hard work pays off. And so, after I completed my PhD, I had already been working in county government in the state of
Mhm.
Alabama, in Jefferson County. I had worked in the federal government at the National Institutes of Environmental Health Sciences on environmental justice issues. And so, I just developed a unique love for working in the trenches with real people making changes in government and systems for
Mhm.
people. And so when we relocated to the Memphis Shelby County area, the Lord just ordained a meeting with a gentleman by the name of Keith McGee, who was the chief administrative officer for Dr. Harrington. And Chief McGee and I had just a conversation about my Christian beliefs and my commitment, my public service. And he, through Dr. Harrington, hired me. And that started a career
Yes.
in learning about the value of and the history of the city of Memphis,
Mm-hmm.
the people, learning about the high schools and the pride that emanates from each high school. I mean, if you understand BTW, you understand Carver, you understand Hamilton,
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely Douglas, Melrose. I mean, there is just a unique sense of pride that flows throughout this community. And Dr. Harrington afforded me that first look
Mm-hmm.
at how I could serve. And then from Dr. Harrington, I was able to work for Mayor Pro Tem Lowry, and worked on the summer youth employment program when students weren't able. We had an issue with people getting paid, the kids being paid, so I was charged with fixing that. And then Mayor Wharton was gracious to continue my public
Dr.
service career.
Hall.
Yes, yes.
Wow, listen.
Okay. Please tell me you were not one of those students.
No, I was not. No, I wasn't born and raised here. I just
Okay.
kind of got here since
Okay.
2010. But I'm just loving this that you have actually been under the leadership of so many mayors.
Absolutely.
So all of that experience that you
Yes.
have gained, I'm sure that that's shaped you into the woman that you are
It
today.
has. It has. I have been blessed. I truly have been blessed by civic leaders, and not
Mm-hmm.
just the mayors. And I do talk about them a lot, but there have been so many good friends and colleagues who, over the past 25 years here in the city of Memphis, that who've poured into me. Janet Hooks, Tawan Stout Mitchell, Barbara Swearingen Holt, Gail Jones Carson. That's just on the female side. Keith McGee, Rick Masson, Robert Spence, Elbert Jefferson. I could go on and on. Just real people who saw potential in me and nurtured that potential and kept pushing me.
The women poured into you. And so
Yes,
now you're going to take this baton
absolutely.
and you're going to run with it.
Absolutely.
So you are inspiring to demonstrate excellence
Yes.
of Black women leadership.
Yes.
But I want to just say studies show that Black women in leadership positions are often held to different and higher standards
Yeah.
than other women ethnicities and leaders of other racial
Right.
identities. Why is that important to you to pour into other Black women
Well, I
in
will tell
leadership?
you that with all of the perceived success of moving up,
Mm-hmm.
I was still a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I was raising two beautiful girls who I wanted to pour into them a spirit of independence. And I poured into them the knowledge and understanding that they were fine just who they are. They
Yeah.
don't have to get validation or seek
Mm-hmm.
validation. So I think for African American women, in many cases, we find ourselves, unfortunately, we are stereotyped, we're generalized,
Yeah.
and we're depicted in a way as being angry. Our assertiveness has sometimes
Mm.
been misportrayed as being we're
Mm-hmm.
angry, we're aggressive. But I just think that just from our very history and our very nature, the Black woman has truly been the backbone of the
Amen.
community. We have supported our spiritual leaders. We have supported our political leaders. It just, you look at Betty Shabazz, you look at the Coretta Scott Kings, you look at the Michelle Obamas. We have to be everything to the
Mm.
men in our lives, to the children in our lives, and to our communities. And we don't necessarily get the luxury of taking a break.
Mm.
And many Black women, yourself included, we operate in this superwoman mindset. So we can be sick. And my mother was the same way. She would, be sick, tired, but she would still make herself get up and
Yeah,
go
you
to
have to
work.
press on.
You've got to
Mhm,
press on. So
mhm.
to me, African American women have found themselves fighting a fight that is probably astronomical just because of the way our history has evolved. But that doesn't mean that we should be counted out. We are some amazing women and we do amazing things.
We absolutely do, and we absolutely are.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, one of your most notable achievements is serving as a health department director
Okay.
during COVID,
Yes.
standing up a mass vaccination site in Whitehaven.
Right.
And I know that was challenging, this worldwide pandemic,
Yes.
and you were kind of at the helm of that, especially here
Yes.
in Shelby County.
Yes. So let me just say that my background, my education, and my work experience has really been rooted in administration.
Okay.
I'm an excellent administrator. I know how to
Chief
execute.
Administrative Officer.
I can do that in my sleep.
Uh-huh.
We were in the middle of a pandemic, a
Mhm.
worldwide global
Mhm.
pandemic. And I say this and I mean this respectfully, but our public health officials were really, really catching it. They were caught in a situation where they were having to be regulatory to determine whether you wear a mask, you don't wear a mask,
Mhm.
whether you social distance, don't social distance. And they really did not
It was confusing.
create, it was confusing. And a lot of people didn't appreciate what they were trying to do, that is to protect
Mhm.
everyone from this pandemic. But um, so our public health director resigned, and Mayor
Yeah.
Harris asked me to, he didn't really ask me, he told me. He said, "You're gonna go up to the health department and you're gonna run it. And you're gonna run this mass vaccination site." And I kept saying, "Well, I don't have a public health degree." And he said, "But you're an administrator and you're a
Mm.
good administrator."
Okay.
And so I went over to the health department. And what I love about working with good people and professionals is they need you to set expectations. And that's what we did. We set 5 goals that we were gonna try to accomplish, and we did it. And we did it because they saw in me leadership, they saw commitment. I was in the trenches with them. I walked the streets with them. We worked with every citizen. But it was a massive undertaking, and I'm very proud to have served the community. We got over 30,000 underserved community members in the Whitehaven community
Mhm.
vaccinated through that time. So I'm really excited.
Yes, ma'am. And now,
Yes.
currently,
Yes.
your role is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer,
Yes.
and you help manage a 1.6 billion
Absolutely.
operating budget and a 150 million capital improvement budget.
Absolutely.
Now, they just don't give that role to anybody.
No, they don't. And it is an honor to serve
Yes.
county residents now. The $1.6 billion budget is derived primarily from property taxes,
Mhm.
from your car tax, from your titles, from any fee. If you were paying, at the court systems, all of those fees, those fines, property taxes, tax, all of that rolls into your $1.6 billion budget.
Mhm.
So it is a Herculean task, and it requires
Yes.
a lot of collaboration
Uh-huh.
with people in finance, with the sheriff's office, with all of the elected officials
Mhm.
to make that budget work.
Mhm. You guys, Dr. LaSonya Hall is part of our Women Who Lead edition. This is going to be a special, exclusive
I'm so
edition
excited.
for women in leadership, women who are leading the charge, disrupting tradition, and just surviving being a woman who is aspiring for more. Now, Dr. Hall, I know you have a quiet resolve. I want to say maybe had. And women are expected to have that.
Yeah.
We're expected to be quiet. We're expected to be submissive. We're
Yeah.
expected to kind of go along to get along.
Absolutely.
But you've been having these, as you say, Herculean roles.
Yes.
Typically they are reserved for a man, but honey, you are stepping in, leading the charge in these roles. What
Well,
has that experience been like?
well, it's been really, really good. I will tell you that while I've stepped into those roles, I'd like to think that I've garnered the respect of my colleagues and my peers, and of my leaders. I am an ethical person. I believe in following policy and I believe in following the law. And so
Mhm.
I think if you ask anybody in the community about Dr. Hall, they will say that I follow the law, I follow policy, and I believe that it's important to do that because if you're consistent, then people will respect you. But if you start to vacillate or if you start to
Mhm.
waffle a little bit, then people really don't know on which you stand. And that comes from being, a Christian sound principle. You got to be able to say, "This is what I believe," and you've got to speak to those beliefs.
And
Um,
you have to
and
stand on
and
it.
you have to stand on them. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Was there ever a moment where your authority or your leadership or your experience was questioned, not because of your work, but just because you were a woman?
Absolutely. I think, and I think that every woman has
Mhm.
experienced that. So when you are managing a $1.6 billion
Mhm.
portfolio, 5,000 employees, the health insurance for 9,000 employees and their families, or the pension portfolio for 4,000 retirees. Um, when a woman speaks, typically she is speaking from passion, and she is speaking from a place that ensures the safety and protections for all. And sometimes that's not appreciated.
Yeah.
And there's just a different lens that
Mhm.
women have in our workspaces, and it's just not always received. And so that has happened to me in a number of times. And what I would advise women is just you keep pushing. You keep, telling yourself that you're doing the right thing, and you just conduct yourself in a way that you allow the results of what you're saying to come forward, and then
Yes.
people have to
And speak for
respect you.
themselves. Let your work speak for
Let
speak.
Come on
Let
now.
your work speak for you. May your light
Absolutely.
shine.
Let your light so
Yes,
shine.
let it shine.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
get into your run for Shelby
Okay,
County
I'd love
Clerk.
to.
Now, you were endorsed by the West Tennessee Women's Political Caucus,
Yes.
and you're the vice president of the Democratic Women of Shelby County.
Yes.
What stood out in your campaign for them to say, we want to endorse you, Dr. Hall?
Well, I think people see that I am strategically equipped to change um, broken organizations. And we talked about the health department. I could tell you that I had to work in the animal services, leading that, leading the Motor Vehicle Inspection Bureau, managing golf courses, parks. My experience has been centered
Mm-hmm.
around fixing
Mm-hmm.
broken systems.
That's what a black woman do, okay?
I mean, that's what we do, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then my experience has been centered on delivering the very best customer service to people. And that's born out of just being a public service, being driven to make sure that every need of every citizen, every employee, because
Mm-hmm.
employees are internal customers. And so I think that people see the commitment, but also the expertise
Mm-hmm.
that I have acquired over a number of years at actually fixing problems.
Mm-hmm.
I am the go-to person when things are broken, and things are broken. Not just with let's just say. Up until recently, when you wanted your health records, you'd had to go and get someone manually to pull them. Well, because of my efforts, I was able to successfully negotiate with the state $1 million grant that got our health records now digitized.
Okay.
So my commitment to changing things for the better for people, I think is what has, I guess, catapulted me
Mm-hmm.
so that these endorsements and this support comes about.
Love it.
Yeah.
So Dr. LaSonya Fix
Yes.
It Hall,
Fix it, huh? Oh my goodness. I like that one.
educate the people
Okay.
on what the Shelby County Clerk office is and does.
Okay, absolutely. So, your Shelby County Clerk's office is the office that I think is far more public facing than many other offices in the county. It is the office in which you get your tax renewed, you get your new vehicles or used vehicles that you purchase registered. You also can obtain your business license, your marriage license, and if you want to be a notary of public, you can get it acquired there as well. So, the county clerk's office is a very public serving office. There are locations in Whitehaven, Millington, one on Austin P, in Mullen Station, and one downtown and on Riverdale. This office has, for a number of years now, been in the limelight because of its brokenness. And I just want to make sure that citizens know that there is a specialist who knows how to repair that model.
Most citizens don't even really think of the county clerk
Right.
office unless until something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
It's not the forefront or a major office in the resident's
Absolutely.
mind. How can you change that?
So we want to do things like this.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that we educate citizens on every front about what these services are. I mentioned earlier that I did a talk show for 10 years. I was the host of a talk show. And that program was instrumental in just keeping citizens aware of what's
Mhm.
happening in their community. So I think that's the very first thing, is making sure that we're out and then getting out in the community,
Mhm.
attending churches, not just when you're running for election,
Mhm.
but actually attending services and being involved and engaged in the community so that they know that you're approachable, that the work
Mhm.
that's being done is for them. And then hearing from citizens and making sure that we keep a digital platform available so that they know about it.
When you announced that you were running,
Yes.
did you receive any pushback?
Well, I think It was more surprise, because
Really?
I think that most people see me as an administrator. They see me as the public
Mhm.
servant, the behind the scenes
So it's a
individual getting
different
work
role for
done.
you.
Yes. And so a lot of people, the initial feedback I got was that, Dr. Hall, this is amazing. And we know that you're overqualified. And so we
Mhm.
support you and we appreciate your sacrifice for jumping in the race. Now, I was actually shocked by that. But now that I've been on this campaign journey, I absolutely understand that it's a lot of work to ensure that people, appreciate the journey.
Knowing that you are overqualified,
Yes.
what is happening inside of the clerk's office that's making you say and think, "I just can't stay silent any longer"?
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a loaded question. So
Uh-huh.
three really critical things. Customer service. As I've traveled across the county, that has been one of the resounding concerns. We've got senior citizens standing in long lines. We've got
Mhm.
people that are who are disabled, on walkers and on canes, and there's really just not a lot of attention being paid to how do we make the experience for our citizens better. And then just working people. I met a good team of friends at Nukes on Poplar,
Mhm.
and one lady said, "Listen, my daughter's autistic, and I need this to be more amenable. I can't afford to stand in the line for 2 hours. I can't." I need something after hours. I need extended hours. I need Saturdays open. And so customer service has really driven me. Technology. So the overall county has to conduct annual audits. It's called the Comprehensive Annual Financial Review. Well, the county clerk's office is one of the largest revenue generating entities in the county.
Mhm.
And if we're not getting that revenue and those reports properly submitted, it affects the entire county. It affects our entire portfolio. And then innovation. Talking about a Windows 7, which is what the office is currently operating
Mhm.
on, and that really is no secret now, but it puts the county at risk from cybersecurity attacks. And so I see it from the lens of the mayor's office being able to um, fix the problems that ultimately will hurt every citizen if we don't. And so that's been my mission, and that's really why I'm running. I know as an administrator that I have the ability to change it, and I see the problems which are on a larger scale than most citizens see.
Mhm. If you're watching this podcast episodes, let us know in the I'm sorry, if you're watching this podcast episode, let us know in the comments what issues are you having in our current clerk's office, or if you're just anywhere in the United States, what are some good and bad things in your county clerk's office?
Yeah.
We would love to know that.
Yes,
Dr. Hall, so we know here in Memphis, Tennessee, we need more location.
absolutely.
Memphis, Shelby County is
It's too
huge.
big.
How many offices or locations do you think we need to just really accommodate us at a fast,
Yeah.
effective
So
pace?
I don't think it requires a lot of brick and mortar offices because that you mentioned earlier that I managed the capital improvement budget.
Mhm.
So to go and erect or lease a lot of brick and mortar spaces could potentially be very costly. But what we can do is use technology and put more kiosks throughout the community. I am partners and really good friends with all of the municipal mayors.
Mhm.
So we can work with our municipal mayors to ensure that these locations are conducive so that citizens have easy access in and out and they can use the kiosk. So that would be one technological advance that would help. We could space them out and the money is there. There is such a fee as data processing. So the money is collected so that the money is there. So it's no additional financial impact to the citizens. We would just be ensuring that these citizen services are out there. We already have online services. So
Mhm.
encouraging people to use where they don't have to physically come in to
Mhm.
use the online services, that would cut down on the number of
What about
physical
identity
spaces.
theft? If we have the kiosk, what would prevent people using identity theft for any reason?
Right, right, right. Well, that's why you want to upgrade your Windows 7 to Windows 11. You want to use
Who's using Windows 7?
the county clerk's office right now is using Windows 7.
What county clerk is using Windows
Shelby
7?
County clerk's office is using Windows 7. Yeah, not the rest of the county. The rest of the county
Windows
is
7?
on Windows 11 or higher. Yes. So we need to make advancements to protect, to your point, the county's assets,
Mhm.
but also the citizens' identity, their finances. And that can happen with the upgrades and with better communication with our state and local elected officials.
Yeah, I'm just having fun. I'm gonna get serious, serious.
Oh, no, you're fun. I like it.
What's the number one complaint outside of just our seniors and disabled? What's the number one complaint that you're hearing from voters?
So the number one complaint are the delays.
Mm.
And I will tell you, it's not just the voters, but it's business leaders, our auto dealers. It is really just a system that has gotten bogged down in very, very manual processes. And it has everything to do with staffing. We have got to do a better job. I'm Lean Six Sigma trained, which means I understand how to look at an
Mhm.
operation, identify the pain points, and make the appropriate adjustments. We have got to give the employees who work the front lines a bit of relief. When you think about two people working a line and there are 4 bays, so there could be 2 more people working that
Mhm.
would eliminate some of that long wait and delays. But if you got 2 people working and there are 300 people in the line at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're building frustration.
Mhm.
So there needs to be technology, potentially reservation systems, or maybe there's a system where folks that or who are disabled can actually be served curbside, where they don't have to get in these long lines. But we have got to address the
That's forward
delays.
thinking.
It
Yeah.
We have got to get these delays under control. Our citizens are feeling it, our employees,
Mhm.
because now what's happening is the employees on the other side of the counter, everybody that comes to the counter
Mhm.
is, they're upset, they're
Yes.
angry. And when I managed the Mayor's Action Center, I saw that firsthand. Employees who are in these public service jobs are in thankless jobs.
Mhm.
Everybody's upset. So we've got to figure out a way to help create and improve the work experience for our employees so that then in turn helps improve the experience for our
Mhm.
citizens. So customer delays.
Well, our next Windows 7 question. How will you
Girl, got you going.
That Windows 7 really has me going. How will you measure success in this office, and how will the public know that you're delivering and saying what you're actually
Thank
doing?
you. I
What
love that.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
question.
in addition to being a very active, very engaged leader, I absolutely believe in being accountable. I am the leader that I understand every facet of the organization so that I can speak to it. Being accountable to the citizens means providing metrics. So, day one, we want to put performance metrics on an agent dashboard.
Mhm.
We want to show that on day one, we started at a 2-hour wait from the curbside to the time you get to the counter. I want to demonstrate that over time, we will have made enough tweaks and interventions in our systems and in our employees that wait time is starting to diminish. And I think that giving the citizens that information on the front end and allowing them to track it helps to reassure citizens. It rebuilds trust in their government, and it helps employees deflect the criticism. They can say, "Look, no, in September it took you 2 hours to
Mhm.
get to the line, but now we've got it down to 30 minutes." So being accountable means being present, means making sure that if I have to go out of town,
Mhm.
that the office will still run effectively. That we are training people such that they can work independently. Emotional intelligence is
Mhm.
very much important in the workforce. The people at the counter need to be able to make decisions. They need to be able to be trained and given professional development so they are comfortable with making the decisions.
So, do you feel that the county clerk office is not as forthcoming as it needs to be?
I think that we need to be more forthcoming in our data. I think we need
Mhm.
to be more forthcoming in the systems, and I think we need to be honest with our citizens about on the. So today is almost the last of the month. Um, what is your wait time? How
Mhm.
long is it going to take you? And how then, if we know that every year at the end of every month there's going to be a long wait time, what are we doing to offset that? What extra steps
People
are we
take
putting?
their lunch breaks to go get their tag
Yes.
renewal.
Yes.
People work 8 to 5, 9 to 5, so they can
Yes.
always come.
Yes.
You know, they'll have to come during the
Yes.
daytime if Saturdays it's not operational.
Yes, if you don't have a Saturday opening, if you
Yeah.
don't have evening hours, and if you compromise your ability to offer kiosk
Mhm.
and online services, then you're actually asking a citizen to take their 1 hour or their 30-minute. A lot of people don't get 1 hour
Mhm.
lunch breaks. Their 30-minute lunch break to come and stand in a line
PTO
2 to 3
time.
hours, right? Taking leave just to get your tag, that is unacceptable,
That
and
is
our
ridiculous.
citizens deserve better.
Mhm.
They just honestly do, and we have to think in that vein. How can we create some type of express system or make appropriate adjustments so that folks don't have to take time off just to get a tag, or they opt to drive dirty with expired tags?
And that's a whole nother conversation there.
Yeah, yeah.
If a 25-year-old Black woman in Shelby County
Yes,
is listening and watching this podcast right now and thinking about public service,
absolutely.
what would you tell her?
I would tell her to pursue it. Working for government, it gets a bad rap. Many people promote working in the private sector more than public sector, but at 25, a young lady can come in, learn, and connect with so many powerful women who will push, who will nurture, who will pour into her. And I mean, I was around that age when I started my public service career,
Mm,
and I have just gleaned the very best from everyone that I've
mhm,
worked with. And to me, that's my best advice. You pull. Everybody's not going to be,
uh-huh,
above board, but you pull the best from who you meet and you
mhm.
say, okay, now that's a good trait. Let me adopt that. Now let me tweak it to my style. And you just keep pushing.
15 to 20 years from now, what do you
Yes.
hope your legacy or your history
Ooh,
will be?
that's a good one. Um, 15 years from now, I would love for the citizens of Shelby County and the municipalities to say that Dr. Hall quite honestly led a remarkable change that produced results for citizens, that she has always held herself steady and aligned with ethics, good policy, law, and her beliefs. And she's always true to herself.
Mhm.
And she's always been a true public servant to the people.
Love that.
Yeah.
So, Dr. LaSonya Fix It
Yes.
Hall, is there
Fix
anything
it.
that I did not ask that you want our viewers to know?
No, I have been so blessed in my life. My husband and I served a church in Oxford, Mississippi, and so that was also a very big grounding factor for us. But I am running because I believe that government systems have to be fixed and fixed for the people,
Mm,
and I know that I am that person. And I believe that citizens should want someone who has a specialty in
mhm.
fixing government
Makes
systems, not
sense.
just making promises, not just being aspirational or not pursuing a political platform,
Mhm.
but being true public servants who believe in helping their fellow man. And that's me.
Well, if someone wanted to donate or volunteer
Oh,
with your
absolutely.
campaign, tell them what they
Hey.
should do.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Amanda for this wonderful opportunity and Bluff City Magazine. But in order to reach our campaign, you can simply go to www.lasonya, LASONYA Hall.com. We'd love to have you on this journey, and we look forward to securing your support as we change the Shelby County Clerk's office for the better.
You guys heard it. Dr. LaSonya Fix It Hall. As we close out this episode, I want you to remember leadership isn't loud, but it's effective. It's a woman doing the work, fixing what's broken, and rising the standard for everyone who comes after her. And when women lead with purpose in Memphis, Tennessee, the whole community moves forward. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified on our next episode release. Amanda Avery signing off. Thank you.